people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Esther Henga. I share faith-based content and all things lifestyle. I trust you have been fine since the last time we met. I'm back again with an interesting discussion that I hope inspires you. Yes, today I want us to talk about gender issues. Gender talk from gendered lenses. Is the boy child under siege? Are the men overburdened? Are the women overdepending on the men? Let's have a look at how to reduce poverty among women. You can call it women empowerment. May I start by appreciating civilization? However, before you shut me up, dear gentlemen, since I know they are strong advocates of our cultural practices and ways of life which were positive and impactful, like the wisdom from the elders, strict moralities and gender roles, allow me to state that times have long changed and we must change too. We have to agree that some of the traditional practices were not impactful, like the place of women in the society. How a proper woman in the African setting was imagined within the context of family. She was expected to accept marriage and have children because marriage was assumed and is still assumed in some cultures to be the end goal of a woman, that a proper woman must put the family interest first before even her personal interest. And here lies the women's prison and bondage. Yes, at the same time, it has also fueled all the women empowerment movements that we are having. Because even the scripture says that love your neighbor as you love yourself. You cannot give what you don't have. That is the truth. That is the reality. You know, this is why there are, this is where we have the struggle. You know, this is where there is a struggle. If you don't even know what love is, how can you even start loving another person? And that is the dilemma our women have been in. But they have tried anyway. They have succeeded in this. They denied themselves and followed the culture. And we appreciate them. The battle we have now is that why do we advocate for more women empowerment and not men? That's why I started from the background with explaining where all this began, so that we may bring women at par in terms of opportunities, so that there is equal access to education, employment, salaries, and utilization of productive resources for both the genders. Now, this is how civilization and empowerment has improved the growth of the society, since women can also contribute economically. Now, if we have to improve our economies, then all the genders have to participate, and that's why we the female gender must rise to the occasion and contribute to the national cake. Yes. Now, to resolve the question of why women empowerment and not men, the right approach is to see how to keep male child secured and that the opportunities are still available, only that they are shared with the female counterparts. And by this, I don't imply that women want these opportunities on a silver platter. No, it's coming to the understanding that the same way a boy child has been educated is the same way the girl has been, and there should be equal opportunities for competition for both of them. So having come up with these strategies for empowering the women, which are good and have improved the girl child's welfare, like enabling them develop ability for critical thinking, fostering their decision-making and action through collective processes, ensuring equal participation in development processes, at the same time enhancing their self-esteem and self-confidence. Where is the gap that still exposes women as overdependent on the males, and that their poverty levels have gone up? Keeping the men on the run at the slightest presentation of women dependability. Yes, these are realities that we have to look at. Now, I ask, has this effort been enough? Have we done enough in terms of this women empowerment? Or what have we overlooked? Where did the rain start beating us? Could the ladies be taking advantage of the men's kindness? Or maybe this is just a genuine wake-up call to improve women empowerment? Now, because there is a cry coming up that ladies cannot let men be. You know, we pull their legs, and when they respond, we take advantage. However, there are the true cases where the woman or the lady is honestly unable because of lack. Men are complaining that ladies crave for compliment and support, but when men do so, there lies the hook. A lady updates her social media status like WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, name them. And in so doing, expect compliments which do come from anyone who views their status, be it a lady or a boy. However, if the boy child appreciates the beautiful creation, then boom, the lady is in the inbox asking for money and financial support. Now, this trend is also experienced in the household where women depend more on the men for their needs. I'm not saying that men supporting women is bad, but my concern is that some of these cases have exposed women to gender-based violence. So the concern is being raised that ladies have been needy both financially and economically, but the financial aspect supersedes the economical aspect, and that we ask, why is this so? One explanation that we could have is that the cost of living have increased. My fellow ladies, is this true, or this is just a section of the women that are tarnishing our dignity? Because the rest of us are working hard and scaling the heights of our careers. Yes, because there are those of us who have been, we have broken the ceiling and are going forth exploring our untapped potential, and cheers to many more achievements. If I may ask, should the man always be the provider? Now, this can be a whole discussion, because some will support that, yes, a man should provide for his family. Others would argue that men are not supposed to be provider. Their role in a relationship is their personality, their energy, their brains, their humor, their sexiness, their kindness, their warmth, name them. But what does the scripture say? Paul tells us in 1 Timothy chapter 5 verse 8 that, but if anyone does not provide for his relatives, and especially for members of his household, he has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. Okay? Providing for your wife also means taking the initiative in helping meet her spiritual needs. What are some of the reasons for the women increased financial overdependence on men? Number one, I will talk about gender wage gap. On average, women earn less salaries than men in the same jobs. Number two, I would also say that gender wealth gap. Women are less likely to have savings, and wealth that are necessary to weather financial shocks and provide for themselves and their families throughout their lifetimes. Now, the gender wealth gap is informed by numerous factors, which may include the fact that women earn less than men. They are more likely to be denied mortgages and to be overcharged for these mortgages at the same time. They also are particularly vulnerable to predatory lending. They hold more debt and face other obstacles that undermine their ability to build wealth and saving. The third one I would say is gender stereotype. And this is the difference in access to credit between genders that can also exert pressure on the financial stability, in the sense that lower gender gap in access to credit can foster financial stability and vice versa. If the latter is true, that higher gender gap in access to credit and can foster financial instability, then this explains the reason for women increase financial needs. But literature and experience support the view that women outperform men in terms of loan repayment, meaning women are loyal and trustworthy. So the credit institution should take advantage of this, and the secret is they are out. The fourth one I would say, race and ethnicity. Research shows that women have higher rates of poverty than men across almost all races and ethnicities. Now, most races look down on women and are not allowed to inherit property. Another one I would say is marital and parental status. Now, research has also shown that unmarried mothers have higher rates of poverty than married women, with or without children. This is because in some cases, the married woman can access certain property by virtue of being the man's wife, and the man takes care of her and her children. The sixth one I would say, women's work burden. Women have so much to do, from domestic to commercial activities. Most societies or jobs lack supportive work family policies, such as adequate funding for childcare and national paid family and medical leave programs, and paid sick leaves. Now, this would help the women manage work and caregiving responsibilities. Now, reliable childcare, which enables parents to participate in the labor force, is often unaffordable and hard to find, which can contribute to lower employment among mothers compared to their fathers. Seventh one I would say is social media. We have the WhatsApp, we have Facebook, the likes of IG, Twitter, TikTok, name them. With the presence of status update, it makes our lives public. Social media has increased personal access to strangers, like through inbox. It's easy for one who is your friend to drop a DM in your inbox that will be positive or negative without consulting, and the reaction would be curative instead of preventive when the effect has taken control. Now, social media has also misled ladies with the idea that men should be providers, like in movies and film. So ladies approach men in that way. The eighth one I would say is men are too kind. When they heard that if they don't take care of their families, then their prayers would be hindered, then they became loyal, And this loyalty, as in 1 Peter chapter 3 verse 7 says, likewise you husband, dwell with your wives with understanding, giving honor unto the wife as to the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of God and the grace of life, that your prayers may not be hindered. Now, women, on the other hand, thrived on this. Women took advantage of this, I may say. The ninth one I would also say is increased women's needs. A schoolgirl's shopping is obviously more than the male counterpart, truth be told. In the same case of a woman with children, the needs are even higher and may surpass her salary. This may place a lady in a position to overdepend on the male. What are some of the solutions on how to reduce women overdependence on the men? Number one, I would say, is access to education. Well, let's take advantage of the educational opportunities that we have and enlighten ourselves as ladies and women, or even the girl that you are. Now, number two will also be, let's close the gender wage gaps. As a society, as a nation, efforts must be made to integrate legislations to reduce the increasing gender wage gap whereby women are paid less than men. The third one I would say is that women must work hard. As a lady, find something to do. Sell even porridge or pure drinking water, do crocheting, tailoring, or kitchen garden. Now, even cooking and daily routine has become commercialized. Yes, see what people are doing in YouTube and earn money. You can start cooking and recording that there's something coming in. In whatever you put your hand to do, give it your all and you will reap the fruits of your hard work. That is the truth. The Lord blesses the work of our hearts. So believe in what you have started, believe it will thrive, put your effort to it, and it will never go to waste. Number four, I would also say as a solution is to ensure access to work-family policies. Let there be childcare support for working families to limit childcare costs to parents, increase childcare assistance to low-income families, and ensure access to a range of care options. If we are going to be productive enough and support our families as women, then we also need leverage in this area of childcare, because a woman doesn't sire the children on her own, but with a man. This will help free the woman's time and concentrate on productive activities that are income generating and that support the male species. Now, the fifth one I would also say as a solution is fund medical coverage. The medical coverage should be accommodative enough to cater for women whose low-wage jobs with consistent hours may not meet work requirement standards. This will help raise stronger and healthier families. The sixth one as a solution I would say is to increase women empowerment. Support girls to access education, train on technical courses, take up spaces in male-dominated employment scenes in this, like in the decision-making platforms. Yeah, these are also some other ways that can come as solution to help our girls and to help women also to be productive enough to reduce the dependence on the men. The seventh one I would say as a solution is to preserve your dignity. A woman, a lady, a girl child, take care of yourself in a way that respects your preferences, individuality. Dignity is it's a basic human need that everyone needs. It's our sense of self-worth, respect, and esteem. For example, establish a sense of personal worth. When you respect yourself, others will follow suit. Now, as I conclude, women don't depend on men out of choice, but out of social, cultural, economic, psychological, and spiritual pressures that create the increased need to rely on the male gender to lift women out of poverty. Policy solutions must address ways that structural and societal sexism and racism uniquely burden women, depress their wages, and limit their opportunities. This includes improving vital public assistance programs, addressing workplace disparities, ensuring work-family benefits, and expanding access to life-saving support. This robust solution must prioritize needs of women of color who are in increased risk of poverty due to combined efforts of gender and racial discrimination. Poverty among women is not inevitable, and only intentional efforts to expand opportunities and supports for all women will ensure lasting economic security for women and their families. With all this, I say cheers to all-round productive women society. See you in the next video.